why I do this every morning and why I think you should too. Did you know that I always leave my kitchen untidied in the evening? For context, I've been a psychologist for 8 years and owned my own practice for 5. This video is about one of the things that I found helped me get the best start to my day. My own efficiency hack, as you can call it. I'm quite sure that it will surprise you, so stick around for a couple of minutes and I'll tell you why you should maybe try this out too. Every morning, just minutes after waking up, I'll do this thing and I think that maybe you should try it too. It has helped me feel more productive, more efficient, and get a better start to my day. It helps me every morning to feel that I'm starting my day with success and a self-confidence boost. And it just takes me 5 minutes. So, what is it that I do? Right when I wake up, I instantly go to the kitchen and turn on my kettle. When the kettle is boiling, that's when I reset my kitchen counter. Every morning, without fail. During the time when the kettle is boiling, I fill or empty the dishwasher, I take the clutter from the counter and put it back where it belongs, and I wipe the counter and sink. When the water has boiled and I make my first cup of coffee, the counter will be empty and clean. This is how I start my day. Before my first cup of coffee, before scrolling, before doing anything else, before talking to my husband, I'll reset my kitchen counter. After this, I'll do the normal things that people do when waking up and getting ready for the day. But I'll always start with this first in my morning routine. Not after, but before anything else. I'll make sure that I don't clean the kitchen in the evening and that we leave some dishes for the morning. But why on earth would I do this? Is there a reason? And why not just do it in the evening or later in the day? The answer to these questions are because it works and because doing it later or in the evening will make you miss out on the most important effect when you most need it, when we wake up in the morning. It's normal to feel tired and struggle to feel extremely motivated to get up and start doing whatever lies in front of us that day. Analytical people like you and me might have a tendency to start by thinking or analyzing or feeling how we feel. This, however, I've found out is not the best way for me to start my morning. I like starting my morning feeling energized, efficient, productive, and good about myself. When I remain in my bed just after waking up, I find that I often end up thinking. Or if I get up and sit down somewhere with a cup of coffee, I also find that I'll likely end up thinking. As a psychologist, I condone thinking, of course, but in the early morning hours, just after waking up, I find that starting with thinking often makes me feel quite sluggish or demotivated, and that it then feels like I seem to not have the energy to go about my day. When we're tired and think about that we're tired, it's easy to fall into thinking to ourselves whether we really do have the energy and drive that we need in order to continue with this day. I've found that if I ask myself if I'm sure that I'll be able to do something, then I often tend to lean on the fact that I'm in doubt. And that this uncertainty that I'm creating will increase with the amount of time that I allow myself to think or reflect over it. The rule of thumb here is that often, the more we think about something, the more we will tend to end up believing in that thing or believing it to be true. So the more I think about my doubt, whether I'll have the drive, the skill, or the energy to do the thing that I want, the more sure I'll become that I'm in doubt of it. This is the reason why I leave stuff out on the counter in the evening. I want myself to have a simple, time-limited task that I can start doing the moment that I get up. I've optimized it in the way that instead of just standing there and waiting for my kettle to finish warming up the water, that I'll use that time to do my first project of the day. This way, it's hitting 2 flies with 1 stone, or how you put it. I make it so that I don't have to stand there and just be bored waiting for water to boil, potentially falling into the habit of thinking of my day to come. And that thinking will take me into the loop of self-doubt and making me feel sluggish and demotivated. So I skip this and get something done. I hurry to put the dishes in the dishwasher, the trash in the trash can, and clean the counter. It's my own competition to see if I can do it or finish it before the water finishes boiling. I don't think I've ever made it, but each day I try, and it helps me finish the kitchen resetting faster and efficiently. When I'm done, I make my first cup of coffee. In these few minutes, I'm making a huge difference for my day. Having in the first 5 minutes of waking up already fixed the kitchen and that the counter is now empty and clean makes me feel a sense of reward. That I've already completed one important task of the day. That I've already conquered resetting my kitchen. As starting with a clean and empty surface is helpful for the motivation to do stuff, and that mess and dirty dishes everywhere can sort of deflate our motivation, I find that it's important work that I do. And because I see resetting the kitchen as important work, I'll find it rewarding when I've completed it. When we've done something that we find important, it's normal to feel good about ourselves and feel that we've accomplished something. Having just speed cleaned the kitchen or tidied the kitchen makes me feel that I've been fast. I did something and I did something important. Thus, it leaves me with a feeling of success, that I was productive, that I was efficient, and that I'm capable, because I actually just did something important. It might be a small and quickly done task, but yet I've found that it leaves me with these feelings. So instead of spending the first minutes of my day thinking or analyzing or trying to get myself into gear, I'll get up and do an action that makes me feel like I've already conquered something. If I had reset the kitchen in the evening just before going to bed, I would have likely had those feelings at that time. As I don't need to feel efficient, productive, or motivated in the evening, because there my task is usually just to wind down and go to bed, it therefore doesn't make sense that I do it then. So, I'll save my strategy for the morning so I can have a good start. Well, did I do a good job of telling you about my morning routine and why it's key for me to start out my day with good energy? I hope so. Thank you for watching. I'm currently trying to build my channel. So if you don't mind, then please share this video with one or two people that you know. Have a nice day and see you for the next one.